But you know, the crazy thing about all of this is that all of this division and this exclusivity amongst Latinos over a term that came about through colonization. And when you look at the caste system in Latin America, how being black and identifying yourself as black or being identified by other people as black, it's like at the very bottom. It's the last thing that anybody wants to be. It's like if you call yourself black, if you identify as negro, it's like, you know, of all of these different shades that we have available here for you, if you don't fit into any one of them, I mean, in DR alone, it's like 27 different shades that you can be. Black is at the very bottom. To identify yourself as black is like you're not even a part of us. And then you see how it also affects people outside of Latino culture, you know, where they're used to this idea of what, you know, a Spanish speaking person from the Caribbean or from South America is supposed to look like, what that phenotype is, you know. And you just see like how far reaching, unfortunately, that whole ideology is, and that whole image of you know, what Latinos, and of course we can also blame Hollywood for that too, you know, being very particular and selective about what describes a Latino person, you know. And this is the crazy thing. It's like when it comes to Latinos, Haiti is the first Latino country, and Haitians are the first Latinos, because to be called Latino, you have to come from a country in Latin America. But what I love about Haiti is like the first free black republic, where it's like we're proud to be black. We don't need to be associated with France. We don't need to be called by France's name, by Spain's name, by anybody's name. We don't need to be Latino, even though they were the first ones. You know, it's like, no, we are a proud black republic. But there's this exclusivity that comes within Latino people of what quantifies a Latino person. And it's so crazy because none of us are Latino. Like, people don't stop to think, where do these terms come from? And it comes from our colonial past. Latino is a word that comes from Latin, and Latin is the language of the Romans. It has nothing to do with us. It was just a way, again, of our colonizers putting their name on us, of owning us and our identities and our heritage, and really where we come from as a people. And when you start to see specifically Spanish speakers from the Caribbean and South America start coming into the U.S., the U.S. government, they just decided to homogenize us because they couldn't even begin to understand the diversity of who we are in all of our different countries and customs and, you know, practices and our cultures. It was you all speak Spanish, you're all Latinos, you were colonized, you know, by Spanish speakers from Europe. So no, that's who you are. You're Hispanic because you belong to the people of Hispania. Those are your colonizers. Those are your forefathers. You belong to those people, you know. And that's when you start to see that use of the words interchangeably, of being Latino and being Hispanic. And then of course you have, you know, this whole movement coming in of, you know, well, no, being Hispanic only identifies you, you know, and traces your heritage and your lineage to Spain, but being Latino is regardless of race. But it's so deep because all of this is rooted in what colonization did to us, in how we see ourselves and how we see others, and how the anti-blackness is just so pervasive. And it's such a feature of Latino culture where it's like people are quick to say, you can't speak Spanish. Oh, you're what country from? Oh, you are? Well, I thought you were black. It's like, yes, I'm black as well. Like Jeanette said in the video, and so many people have said this, but it's like people don't get the message. You can be black because that's your race, right? Your nationality is another. You can be from any country. You can be a national of any country. That has nothing to do with your race. And your ethnicity is another. you know? So it's I think it's something that people don't talk about enough. And my thing is, any Haitian who doesn't want to identify with being Latino, even though you have every right to, if you want to, you know what? All power to you. Any Latino who doesn't want to identify with that term, because it really does not identify us. It does not encompass or begin to explain and represent who we really are as a people. You know, it's a deep conversation because there's so many levels to it, and I think it's just as important to talk about this as it is to talk about what I posted in my duet with Jeanette Reyes, because that's a real thing that happens. But it's like, think about where it comes from. Think about how it started. And think about how people continue to propagate this mentality within Latino culture and outside of it because of what others have taught them that a Latino person or Hispanic person is supposed to look like or they're supposed to sound like. You know, I think it's a lot to talk about there. We need to talk about it a little bit more because these conversations are necessary and they're very healing, and it makes you reflect and it makes you see things in a different way that you probably didn't see it before. So just my 2 cents on that. Yahweh bless. Take care. Shalom.